Hi and welcome to A World of Words. I'm Vanessa and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books of 2016. So just to clarify for this list, these are my favorite books that I read in 2016. They weren't necessarily published in 2016. And also for some of the series on this list, I just consider the whole series one book for the sake of time and this video not going on forever and ever. And I have a lot of books that I really enjoyed in 2016. I read so many amazing books last year. So I'm just gonna get right into it because there are so many good ones. But these books are in no particular order. I just wrote down a list of all of my favorites and I'm just going from that because I can't choose. You can't make me choose. So the first series I'm going to talk about is the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series. This one, and I also read Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer, and I just love them both so much. These are the first Rick Riordan books I have ever read. I missed the Percy Jackson train because I was like a little bit above the target age range when those were getting popular. These books are so good, they're so funny. Magnus is just the wackiest character and he's so sarcastic and he has like such a wide variety of friends. There's a deaf friend, there's a Muslim girl. There are just so many characters in this and they're all mixed up with like fantasy things, which is really cool too. And it's just like so much fun and such a wacky adventure, and I think pretty much anyone would enjoy this series. The next favorite book I have was one that I read really early last year. I think this was either January or February, and that is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. And I really love this book. It was written so beautifully. It's about a girl who can time travel, which is another subject that I really love. And it's dual perspective, which is also really fun, between her and Nicholas, who is from the 1800s or 1700s. I forget exactly because it has been almost a year since I read that book. I haven't read her Darkest Mind series, but I really want to because this book was just so beautifully written and the main character was just such a good character. There was plot twists in there. And it was just so much fun jumping back and forth in time and the way it all just kind of wrapped up, and you learn so many things because it's a time travel book, so they have all those twists and turns with things connecting, and it was just such a good time. And I really love Passenger. Cannot wait for Wayfarer. It's coming out really soon as I'm filming this, so I'm so excited, and I had to put it on this list. This next book shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody who's watched my channel, but if you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Vanessa and I am so obsessed with this book, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. It is a high fantasy that is multiple perspective, which again, you probably are figuring out, I love multiple perspectives so much. There are all sorts of different powered people in this. It's an adventure. It's got so much comedy. Well, I felt it was really fast paced and so much excitement, but it's also really funny. And her writing is just so amazing. I absolutely love it. And I love the characters in this. And it just has everything I love is in this book. And I feel like everyone should read it. And then talk to me about it. And this next book is Remembrance by Meg Cabot, which I feel like not going to be on anybody's list because I feel like the Mediator series, which is one of my all-time favorite series, doesn't get very much love on BookTube for whatever reason, and this is the comeback book, I guess. I'm not sure if this is going to be a series, but it takes place many years later after the Mediator series has ended. I can't say too much about the plot because it will spoil the end of that series, because it is a continuation and I highly recommend you read it. It made me so happy. I'm so thrilled because it's been almost 10 years since I got to read a new book in this series. I fell right back in love with all of the characters, and it was so much fun to read this book. I had to put on my favorites just because it just brought back so many beautiful memories about reading the series, and it just makes me so happy, and I just love everyone in it. I recommend everybody read this series because it's so good. So my next favorite is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare and others. I really enjoyed this book. I actually read them all as the ebook form right before Lady Midnight was about to come out. I marathoned all of those books, and I enjoyed them so much. Can't tell you the plot because spoilers, but it was so funny and so much fun to read. It gave you all sorts of information that you really need going into Lady Midnight, so I would recommend you read this before Lady Midnight. Otherwise, Lady Midnight will tell you some of the things that happened in this book, and I really think that it's so much more fun to discover it as you're reading it. You also get to see some characters like Will Harrendale and Tessa, because there are some flashbacky things going on. Altogether, it was just so much fun to read, and I feel like anybody who loves Cassandra Clare and loves the Shadowhunters will just love this book, and I love this book, so I had to put it in my favorites just because it was that much fun for me. And going right along with Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, I have to have Lady Midnight on this list. This is the first book in her newest trilogy, The Dark Artificers. It's so good. I tabbed so many places because it was beautiful, and I really love Emma so much. She is an amazing, I have to hold it with two hands because it's that heavy. She is just such an adorable character. She reminds me a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I love her sass. It is phenomenal. Her and Julian are really cute, and I do feel like this book started off a lot slower than a lot of the other Shadowhunter books, so keep that in mind when reading it, but overall the writing was really good, and I don't think it has topped the Mortal Instruments for my favorite series just because I just love that series so much. I love Clary and Jace so much. I don't know if I can do that yet, but I really did enjoy this book so much, and of course any Cassandra Clare fan, everybody, we all have been loving this book and cannot wait for it. Lord of Shadows, I think, is the next one, and that's coming out in like May, hopefully a few months. I'm so excited that we're going to be getting like a Cassandra Clare book every year. I'm sure they'll all probably make it onto my favorites. And my next favorite books are Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I love these so much. I read them both this year, and they were both so amazing. I actually won this one thanks to the Winter Biannual Bibliothon, so I got it for free, which was so nice of them. I flew through this book, and then when it came time for the next book to come out, I was just so happy. I had to reserve it for my library immediately, and then I ended up buying it because it was just so good, and it has red pages. It's a fantasy world. This is also multiple perspective, so you might notice a theme with I love multiple perspective. It also has a lot of funny parts. It's got a lot of really good writing in it. It's got great characters. They have a lot of cool backstory stuff going on in it, and it's just 2 books, which is kind of sad that it's over already and that there are only 2 books. If the story is complete, it's complete, and I'm happy to have it, and it was so much fun to read, and yes, both of these. My next favorite book was The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Curry. I don't have this book because I got it out of the library, but I was looking at all of the books I read in 2016, and this one was just so beautiful. It was just beautifully written, and the way the plot tied together was pretty amazing. And this is an Aladdin retelling from the perspective of the genie, but the genie is currently in the form of a teenage girl for the most part, so you can tell that there's kind of gonna be a romance between her and Aladdin, which is really fun. And the genie's magic was really what made me love this book, because the way they described the magic of the genies, it was just so creative, and I really hadn't seen anything like that. Yeah, like the genie would manifest these different shapes, and the fights between like the magic people was just really good, and the whole story was just really good, and she could shapeshift, and that was just described so creatively, and everything about this book was just so great, and it was really a surprise because I wasn't expecting that much from it, and then it ended up being just so good, so I had to put it on this list because I enjoyed it so much. Don't worry, we are getting near the end here. My next favorite book was Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. This is the first book I read by Tahereh Mafi, and I loved it so much. It was so colorful. It takes place in two magical worlds. The main character, Alice, is actually from a magical world, and then she ends up traveling to another, much more dangerous magical world. And it was, like, magic was in the colors of the world, and Alice, as you can see, has no color except for, she's albino except for her eyes, and so she thought she wasn't colorful at all. But of course you learn that she does actually have a power of her own, and this is a middle grade book, and it was just so cute, and the adventure was so much fun. It was just so whimsical. Whimsical is really the best way to describe this book, because the descriptions in this book just blew me away on every page. They're just so beautiful, and I just want to study them. That's why I had to buy it, because I want to study them to just see how she does it. Like, they come to life in this way. I can't even hardly describe it. It's just so unique, I guess, and so good. You need to read this book. If you have any interest in writing or description, you really should read this book just for that alone. And the story is also really cute and really fun as well. The next book I loved in 2016 was, of course, Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, so I can't even talk about any plot details because that would pretty much just give everything away, but it was so good. Again, I feel like I'm just talking about descriptions this whole time. I guess because I'm a writer and I'm working on like improving my own descriptions, I'm just really gravitating towards books that I feel like have like really great pretty descriptions and also just are really fast paced, because I feel like Empire of Storms, even though it was almost 800 pages, it was super fast paced. And I just loved it. There was so much action. We even got a couple new perspectives actually that I really loved in this. Well, I guess they were kind of in Queen of Shadows, but they were a bigger role in this book. Yeah, I was just blown away by how good this book was. It was so much fun to read. I read it pretty fast considering how long it was. I don't have words. I loved it so much. I really don't know what people are talking about when people say they have issues with this particular book in the series and it made them angry. I kind of want to look into that, but then I kind of don't, because I enjoyed it so much that I really don't want anyone else's like negative opinions kind of affecting how much I love this book. I was so happy with it. I loved it, and it's one of my favorites of 2016. And the last book I'm going to talk about is a series, The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I just loved this series. I'm holding up 2 to represent the whole series because that's all I own. I read the whole series this year and I enjoyed it so much. It was such a like unique reading experience. The world was just so mystical and there were so many secrets, and the way everything unfolded, like the character relationships and just the character descriptions and just like the way the world worked was just so mysterious, and I loved watching it unravel. It was just such a good read. I just found it really fascinating, and I found the characters fascinating, and this again, multiple perspective fantasy. What else is new? Apparently I know what I like and I'm sticking to it because it's just so good. The characters, they just steal your heart, and it's so good, and also it has a lot of really funny parts, so there's that too. You know, it's not funny like Magnus Chase where you're just like laughing all the whole way through, but there are just like some really surprising comedic moments in this series that I just absolutely fell in love with. Yes, so I just really love this book, love this series, and it has to go on my favorites of 2016. So those are all of my favorite books of 2016. I know that was a lot. Hopefully this video won't end up super long. I actually set a timer for myself so that I was only allowed to talk about a series for like a minute at a time, 2 maximum, so hopefully this video is kind of a manageable length. I read so many amazing books in 2016 and I cannot wait for 2017 because I'm probably going to read a whole bunch of amazing books this year as well. So if you also did a favorite videos of 2016 videos, if you also did a favorite books of 2016 video, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know your favorites, or you could just tell me a couple of your favorites in the comments below. Did you also enjoy any of the books that I loved? Please let me know. I would love to chat with you about it in the comments. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I upload new videos on Mondays and every other Friday. plus the occasional surprise video, so please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye!